Alright, so today we are going to be going through my StoryGraph and Goodreads account to figure out what I should read next. Alright, so both these sites, they record what you read and how you rank them, and then they have this feature called recommendations where they think they can tell you what to read next. Now, I already have a reading list a million miles long because I collect books as well as read them, so we'll see if any of the recommendations given to me today by these two sites match the books that I have already on my shelf that are in my reading list, and if not, I'll add it to the list if it sounds interesting, or maybe the AI is totally off. Okay, so let's figure that out. So the first site we got here is we're going to go through StoryGraph and then Goodreads next. So they have a little survey here in order to figure out your preferences to help create the recommendations. Now I've gone through it already, so you can select your favorite genres. I just have classics in here. Then you can also add reference reads, which is, books that you really like that you want to base the recommendations off of more strongly. So I've got That Hideous Strength by C.S. Lewis. That's the third in his space trilogy. I've also got Frankenstein, Paradise Lost, East of Eden, and Robinson Crusoe. The middle three being my 5-star reads, and then the ones on the end were some 4-star ones that I read recently that I really liked. So then I've got which do I appreciate most in books right now. You can select up to 3. I only put high quality writing and learning about the human experience, so sort of that eternal element or quality in a work that makes it truly a classic. And then what genres do I not like or not interested in reading? Now I don't want to censor it, so I didn't select anything. And then on this next option here it says, what are some things that turn you off of a book? Now the only thing I selected here out of all these weird options was graphic sex. Yeah, no one wants that in a book. That's just, I don't know why you would read that. Well, I know why they would read it, but come on, you're better than that. Okay. And the next one, our last section, or sorry, there's 2 more sections. Complete this sentence. I am never rarely in the mood for books that are. Again, I left it empty. I don't want to censor the recommendations at all. And then we've got content that I never want to read about. Sort of like, I don't know, maybe if people have like triggers or something, they would add it in here. Again, empty. I don't want to skew the results at all. So we save that. It's going to generate our recommendations here based on the survey. And I would assume that it's based also on the books I've read previously and ranked. I wouldn't imagine it was just off of the survey, but there we go. Oh yes, so there's based on survey, based on recent reads, similar users. Oh, okay, cool. So let's go through this first one here, based on the survey. Survey picks Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. What is this about? Milkman Dead was born shortly after a neighborhood eccentric hurled himself off a rooftop, in a vain attempt at flight. For the rest of his life, he too will be trying to fly. I don't know. I'm gonna rank these or rate these books really quickly. So I'm gonna be totally unfair. This one, I'm sorry, sounds boring. Maybe it's awesome, but I'm just saying it just sounds boring. Call of the Wild, Jack London. Pretty sure I read that when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I liked it. Although I already have a copy, so this is no need to buy this one. Next one, Notes from the Underground, Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor? How do you say his first name? Everyone just calls him Dostoevsky. Fyodor. I guess, is that like the Russian Theodore? That would make sense. Anyways, very famous. I have a few of his books, though I don't have this one, so maybe I'll have to pick it up next time I'm at the thrift store. Next one, okay, Wives and Daughters. Haven't heard of that one. A story of romance, scandal, and intrigue. Alright. 17-year-old Molly, widowed father remarries. Her life is turned upside down. Wait, what? Her widowed father remarries. Her life is turned upside down by the arrival of her new stepfather? So it's 2 fathers? Am I misreading that? I don't know, it seems alright. Again, I'm not getting pulled into it. Private Memoirs and Confessions of a Justified Sinner. What year is this? 1824. All right, it's got to be good. It's pretty old. Set in 18th century Scotland, the novel recounts the corruption of a boy of strict Calvinist parentage by a mysterious stranger, under whose influence he commits a series of murders. Ooh, all right. That does sound... This one, so far, seems like the best recommendation. This one's very interesting. Sort of like Faust vibes, right? The stranger, recognizing the stranger as Satan. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I'll add this to the... Oh no, how do I add to up next? No, how do I save it for later? Anyways, maybe I'll just copy and paste this somewhere. Next, Letters to a Young Poet. I actually already have this. I read it as a part of my first year psych class in one of the... during my undergrad, I guess. So I have to reread it though. It's been a long time. I kind of forget, but I do remember it being all right. Next, we've got The Sea by Iris Murdoch. All right, what's this one about? Charles Arrowby has determined to spend the rest of his days in hermit-like contemplation. He builds a mysterious damp house on the coast. Oh, that sounds quite nice, actually. Far from the heady world of the theater where he made his name. Alright, he lives off the grid. That sounds lovely. He meets his childhood sweetheart. Awesome. What? He meets his sweetheart, and memories of her lovely younger self crowd in, along with more recent lovers and friends, to disrupt his imposed exile. So then he decides to be bad? Don't really know how that follows from stuff up here. But again, that sounds pretty good. Again, I don't know. It's kind of a recent publication date. It makes me suspicious, honestly. But again, this one does sound interesting compared to some of those first ones. Nabokov, another famous Russian guy. Pale Fire. I've heard of this. I think I've seen it at the store, although I don't own a copy. So, let's see. American poet John Shade is dead murdered. His last poem, Pale Fire, is put into a book together with a preface. This one sounds alright. I'm not as pulled in immediately as I was with The Sea and the Private Memoirs. Alright, those ones seem a bit better. I'm just gonna maybe scroll through the rest of these, see if anything sticks out at me. I don't know if I have the patience to go through every book individually. So, I don't know. Butcher's Crossing. Not immediately pulled in. Island of Dr. Moreau. My brother has this. H.G. Wells, big fan. Alright, he's cool. So definitely I will read this at some point. Probably steal it from my brother. Hemingway, Farewell to Arms. I don't know. Obviously I know Hemingway. Haven't really read any or much of his stuff. Could it be good? Probably. Will I read it? Probably not anytime soon. Slow Paced. Hard sell. Fathers and Sons. Whoa, hold on. Fathers and Sons. We had a book up here called Wives and Daughters. Whoa, we could read those at the same time and see what the difference is between Fathers and Sons and Wives and Daughters. That's the next reading project for you. That should be your May TBR. Next one, Invention of Moral. Medium-paced science fiction. Oh, okay. I'll take that. Oh, George Louis Borges. Okay. No, this is the guy that did that Infinite Library with the hexagons. What is that called again? Library of Babel. That's the Spanish guy, I think. All right. I think he writes pretty short stuff because Library of Babel is like 10 pages or something. So he's like a shorter fiction guy. Comparable to Turn of the Screw and Journey to the Center of the Earth. Oh, okay, wow. I'll definitely keep my eye open for this one. This seems good. Yeah, cool. Iliad, Odyssey, and Aeneid. I already have all those. Come on now. Perfume, the story of a murderer. That sounds like it sucks. Again, I have no idea. I just judged it in 2 seconds based on the cover and the title. Sounds like it sucks. The Woman in the Dunes. Okay, that sounds like Frank Herbert lore. Let's see. What are the premier Japanese? I don't really read a lot of Japanese stuff, to be honest. Magical realism. Okay. Okay, that sounds actually alright. The Woman in the Dunes. Kobo Abe? That sounds like an African name. But it says it's Japanese. Who knows? We got some interesting crossover going on here. That one does sound good, though. If I see that in the store, I'll pick it up. There is Confusion. Doesn't seem interesting. Hunger. 1890. Okay. At first I wasn't sold, but let's see. Psychodynamics of alienation and obsession. And it seems alright. If I see it, I'll buy it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to order it. Let's just say that. Next we've got The Last Man, Mary Shelley. I don't know The Last Man. I do know Mary Shelley. I love Frankenstein, so if I see any Shelley at the store, I just pick it up. Although I don't really see much besides Frankenstein, unfortunately. So that is for sure on the... That name is in my... on the lookout. What am I saying? I am on the lookout for that name. So that I would expect that we'd get that one eventually. And just the rest of these, I mean, I have these two. Test the Dubervilles, Mice of Men, of course. Leaf by Niggle by Tolkien. What? Is this part of the Middle-earth lore? No. Huh. Interesting. I mean, obviously he wrote other stuff, but everyone just knows him for Lord of the Rings. If I see Tolkien, I'll definitely buy it at the store, but this is a funny title, to be honest. Faulkner, again, everyone knows him. I have some Faulkner. Don't have this one. Will I read it? Probably in a few years. Not for now. Kafka, same thing. Passage to India. I keep seeing this at the bookstore. Every bookstore has a copy of A Passage to India, so I should read the description. And the last one here looks Chinese. Notes of a Crocodile. Oh, Queer Teenagers. Okay, we will not be reading that. Passage to India. Alright. It's selected as one of the 100 great works. Alright, well, there you go. I guess my hands are tied, really. I cannot not read it at this point. Racial tensions between Indians and British. One of the greatest novels ever written. One of the greatest novels ever written. Well, like I said, my hands are tied. Next time I see this, I'll buy a copy. Alright, let's see. Based on recent reads, that should be interesting. These ones don't seem to be as well targeted. Like, this seems random. The Eye of the Heron, science fiction. Le Guin, I have not seen that name at the store before. At least I haven't remembered it. Victoria, former prison colony. City Dwellers. No, seems alright. I'd give it a chance. Machines Like Me, science fiction. Oh. Yeah, seems interesting. I'd give it a go. Although, actually, published in 2019, probably not, to be honest. I don't really like reading stuff that was published before the year 2000. The older, the better, honestly. And, okay, why do I get recommendations like this? I'm not interested in, like, geopolitics. I am not a feminist. I don't like reading feminist stuff. I assume this is non-fictional? Non-fiction? Yeah. I don't really read a lot of non-fiction either. I'm pretty sure this is the AI recommendations being woke. Why am I getting this recommendation? I never read anything like this. Maybe it's trying to tell me that I should switch it up, though. Arab women. I don't know. My reading list is so long already. It's not particularly interesting to me, so probably gonna have to skip on that one. The Believer, again, 2021. I don't want to see new books. Okay, this one's not new. Piers Anthony cluster. Oh man, this is like super nerdy. Look at all these words, I have no idea what they are. Snout, Kirlian, Polarian, Insectoid Canopian, Trisex Spicia Waterworld? Huh? It's probably really good, but it's complicated 100%. Lovable characters, no, 100%. I think one person's reviewed this book. 68 reviews, and they all are 100%. Wow. Hey. Interesting. I mean, the odds are low that I see this at the store, but if I do, maybe I'll pick it up. That seems intriguing. I think the lore must be really strong on this one. Author went all out. 2022, skip. 2016, skip. 19, Whipping Star. Oh, Frank Herbert. Yeah, okay. I mean, I liked Dune. I wasn't like a huge fan of it. Like I wasn't like instantly drawn in to read all of Herbert. I'm more of a fan of Philip Dick. But if I see Herbert at the store, I buy him because I can always give him away. Well-known author. Also, the font on these earlier 1970 publications are top-notch. Like this cover design, very good. Again, 2017, 2022, 2018, 2021. Come on. Oh, Fahrenheit 451. Yeah, that's on the shelf. I'm going to read it soon. 2019, Permutation City. Greg Egan. Not familiar. Seems alright. Walden. Yeah, so Thoreau. The reason I'm getting this recommendation on Thoreau is because I, a couple years ago, read Kaczynski's Manifesto, which was pretty good. And I think he did take inspiration from Thoreau. So, hey, I'll have to read that eventually. And it is, I have Walden, I don't think I have Civil Disobedience, so half of that is on the shelf. Okay, I've seen this name before, Kurt Vonnegut. 2BRO2B. Social commentary. I'm not really into social commentary, to be honest. But it seems like an interesting thought experiment, to be or not to be. Okay, yeah, I would potentially read that. 1962. Yeah, I would potentially read that one. Seems alright. Again, I only speak English, unfortunately. I wish I could speak other languages. But I only speak English, and I've never read a book in a language other than English. And I'm getting recommendations in Spanish. The abuse of the palabras. Don't know what that is. Guys, help. I can't read Spanish. The Beauty, 2014, skip. 2010, skip. Walden 2. Okay, what is this all about? I mean, B.F. Skinner, of course, famous psychologist, behaviorist. Is this at all related to Walden by Thoreau? Great question. Sounds demonic, honestly. Behaviorism, quite cringe. Nietzsche. I have some Nietzsche, haven't read him. Again, on the list. Fanged Noumena. Yeah. Nick Land, supposed to be hailed as like a super smart prophet, almost of our own generation. But to be honest, I read a little bit of Fanged Noumena on like a PDF. It's just incomprehensible. So how about this? Try saying something substantial and meaningful with regular English. How about that? So, I mean, hey, I'm not hating on Nick Land. Smart guy, obviously, but hey, this just seems like a pretentious like art hipster project that someone puts out, and people pretend to understand it and pretend to like it, to like support, but like nobody gets it. You know the vibe that I'm trying to go for here. Anyways, not for me. China Mieville. Seems like an Asian Melville. I wonder if he has a book like about a whale or something. Alright, I'm getting lost here. Alright. Oh shoot, I closed it. Let's see. We got one more here. Oh, wait, what? Out of My Comfort Zone. I have this book, actually. Why would it be out of my comfort zone? Dystopian, young adult, emotional, reflective, medium-paced. That's... yeah, that seems to match a lot of my other reads. I don't know why that would be out of my comfort zone. But we can scroll through this quickly. Similar user picks. Again, don't want to harp on this too long. Oh, Where the Wild Things Are. Very good. Earthsea. Okay, I actually have been meaning to read this. I don't have it, but I've heard amazing things about Earthsea. So definitely will be buying this if I see it. Brave New World, already read it. Again, this Kurt Vonnegut, if I see him, I'll buy him, I guess. I don't have it, but sure. He seems pretty well known. Gulliver's Travels, haven't read it. Heart of Darkness, I read that in high school. I remember liking it. Again, shorter book. I'll have to read it again, though. Cats, again, Kurt Vonnegut, this guy, he's everywhere. Lord of the Rings, cool. The Odyssey, great. Foundation, I've heard mixed things about Isaac Asimov's Foundation series. My dad listened to it on audiobook. He said it was mid. He didn't use that word, but yeah. My boomer dad said it was mid, so I might be skipping on Asimov there. Stranger, haven't read it. Mice and Men, haven't read it. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Sounds like a movie, not a book. Maybe, there probably is a movie, to be honest. Macbeth, read it in high school. I'll probably read it again soon. Again, this guy, he's everywhere. Game of Thrones, my good friend is recommending me Game of Thrones. Actually, 2 of them. They say it's like the best series they've ever read. But I'm kind of a contrarian, and because it's popular, I'm gonna have to skip on that one. Animal Farm, haven't read it. Ray Bradbury. That was the same guy that did Fahrenheit 451, right? I believe. I don't know. Can't find it, but I believe that's the case. So if I see more of him, I'll buy it. I don't know. Martian Chronicles. The design on the front is cool. People say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I say you should. You know, the publisher pays good money for someone who knows what they're doing, hopefully, to design a cover for a book. Right? That's their job. So if they can't afford to pay somebody good, then the book probably sucks. It's not going to sell. They have no faith in the book. But if they know it's going to sell, right, then they're going to get a good cover design. And I don't know if the author has any say. I would think they would, right? So the author would also pick a cover design or help design a cover that matches the themes of the book. It's like physiognomy, you know? You should judge a book by its cover. So this one seems pretty cool. 2003, skip. 2015, skip. The Shining. Ooh, Stephen King. Not really huge on like reading horror or reading like suspense or mystery books, to be honest. But I have seen the movie, and it's not a movie that's like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's not lovable in the sense that it's like wholesome or like engaging, because like there's a lot of slow scenes. But like, I can understand why it has a cult following, because it's like, it is very interesting. So definitely worth watching at least once in your life. Yeah, A Clockwork Orange. I've heard that book. I don't know too much about it. Is it good? Oh, it's like a dystopian sci-fi? Oh yeah, okay. I'll pick that up next time I see it. Why not? For some reason, whenever I see that title though, The Clockwork Orange, I just think of, what's that, like, weird Netflix prison show, Orange is the New Black. I've never seen that, but I've heard terrible things. Okay, so whenever I see that title, I just think of that Netflix show, and I'm like, bleh. But actually, this seems like a good book, so I'll have to pick it up. Classic picks here. I think we've already seen some of these. They might be duplicates. Again, Hemingway, Pale Flower. Yeah, I think we've seen most of these already. Yeah. Because the only genre I selected was classics. They're the same. Alright, now moving on to Goodreads. Now, Goodreads is much more well known than StoryGraph, much more widely used. So I have high hopes. All right. Now I haven't actually opened this screen before, so let's see. Based on my read shelf, how do I use this? Give recommendations, ask for recommendations. Oh no, that's that's from another user. Based on my read shelf. Okay, here we go. The Upanishads, haven't read it. I don't know, Man and His Symbols, I'm currently reading this. I don't know why. Yeah, I already added. I don't know why it's here then. Rene Guénon, yes, or I'm not saying that right. It has some symbol or some accents in it. Anyways, Rene Guénon, I've heard great things. He has that whole mimetic theory, right? I think I've seen some YouTube videos on him. Anyways, never seen him in the store, but if I did, I'd buy it. Again, I don't recognize these last names. Seneca, yes. I don't think I have this particular book. I feel like I have something from him though. Anyways, again, when I see a cover like this, published 2022, yeah, I just know that it's a recent book and I just don't want to read it. So there's that. Also, because I've read the Bhagavad Gita, I get all these like weird like Asian religious texts recommended to me, but I'm not really that into it. I read the Bhagavad Gita because it's like a famous like primary source, like the Tao Te Ching, right? Or was it the I Ching I read? I don't know. I've already read something like this, not because I'm interested in like becoming a Zen Buddhist mystic, but because it's like a primary text that's like foundational for certain cultures. So it's interesting to me. But now I'm getting all these recommendations, like the Dhammapada. Not really that interested, to be honest. Although this one is a primary source, so maybe I'd read it, but who knows? Like this one, I'm certainly not interested, right? When was this published? I don't even know. What else do we got here? Like I said before, you should judge a book by its cover, and none of these are really pulling me in. Right? Like this just looks bad. 48 Laws of Power? Pff, cringe. A Fight Club? I watched the movie maybe a few weeks ago. Very interesting. Very interesting. No, it did not go how I expected it to go, to be honest. Again, World War Z. G.K. Chesterton. Yes. I have one Chesterton book. Very famous Christian guy, right? Protestant apologist. I got The Something Man. I forget the title. But anyways. Nietzsche, what is this? Oh, Thus Spoke Zarathustra. I think I have that one. Hey, we're getting Clockwork Orange recommended again. That's a sign for sure. Some of these I've already read, like Brave New World. Art of War, yeah, I'd pick that up if I saw it. Haven't seen it. Catch-22. Maybe I'd buy that one. I don't know, I've seen it and I've turned it down before because it's kind of expensive, but maybe I should. Maybe I should. Fantasies, I already have this, haven't read it. Innocence of Father Brown, more Chesterton, perhaps. And I think this is like a kid's book, right? Pretty sure it's a kid's book. Fire in the Belly, that's more Eastern religious stuff. The Way of Men. Give me a break. Anyways, turns out that, I mean, I haven't read them yet, so I can't judge for sure, but it seems that the StoryGraph recommendations were much better. These ones all seem pretty mid, to be honest. As my boomer dad would say. Pretty mid. But yeah, none of these are really pulling me in. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I don't know how interesting or informative that video was, but if you had nothing better to do, I just helped you kill what was that, 20 minutes? So you're welcome. Or maybe I should apologize for the terrible content. Who knows? But anyways, signing off. Have a good one. And if I made a mistake, I scrolled past a recommendation that you've personally read and thought it was great, send me a message. Tell me how stupid I am. I'd love to hear it. Thanks, guys. See ya.